Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level.
So don't forget to check out the description below.
You know, no matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
And everybody says that I always yell when I say that, but I tried singing it that one.
That one was better. That's better.
That's better. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Streams podcast. We've had a lot of really cool conversations lately, and some future stuff that's coming. That's going to be really good. Now, before you turn off or you skip or you do anything, you could call this a plug, not a jugs plug, but you can call this a plug for a VPN or not. It's up to you. But this is something that's a real life situation. So
It's happening right now.
it's happening now. And I know you and me, Next Level, you're just like, wait, well, who is this? So let me explain.
Let me explain you.
Huh?
Let me explain you.
Let me explain to you real quick on this one. So Triller is, I think Triller was a company that hosted the fight with Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, which I'm not interested in watching that crap anyway. It's just like, come on, Jake Paul, dude. You're not, no. Fight somebody who's active. If you want to be an active fighter, fight an active fighter. And I think maybe his brother is going to be fighting Mayweather, which I hope Mayweather beats the crap out of them. I'm just done with the Paul brothers and trying to make money, and I don't know. But Triller, now we're not trying to scare anybody with this, so don't think of it as a scare tactic. Just listen to this. Triller is filing a $100 million lawsuit for anybody who streamed that fight that went to these websites who are watching the fight illegally. They're also saying a VPN will not help you. It says VPN services that is being claimed will offer no protection to those who use them to pirate the event. So yeah, just wanted you guys to let that settle in real quick.
Yo, I did a quick Google search really quickly when you were talking right now. I don't know if you saw me smiling, but there is a Reddit thread under the VPN sub that has hundreds of comments on this, and it's hilarious. Like, if you guys are bored, go check it out on Reddit. You'll see all these kind of comments of people talking about this. One of the comments says, "You ever seen those? You have 1 day to turn yourself in. Otherwise, we will show your identity," which we clearly have on tape threat. And he's like, yeah, that's called bluffing, right? One other one says, dude, if they knew who the people illegally streaming were, then they would already have a lawsuit on them for $150,000, as they claim. Why bait them for $50 and claim you know who they are?
Right. So right now, Next Level just said, why bait them for $50? So the reason why he said that is because Triller is saying, if you pay us $49.99, which is the original price of the event, we won't go after you. We'll take you off our list. It's kind of like a plea deal or settlement, however you want to look at it. You pay $49.99. It's like we'll claim that as a settlement where we won't have to do that. Now, we're not saying this is what you need to do to protect yourself or not protect yourself. We're not saying this is what you should do to do things illegally or not. We're just saying like VPNs really do matter if you want to stay protected, especially when it comes to like some of your personal stuff, because you don't know when people are in there looking at what you're doing. And it could be anything. It could be looking at your bank statements. It could be trying to hack into your Facebook account, Twitter account. It could be anything. The ones that we recommend, of course, are in the bottom. You'll see that in the description below. So here's the thing. And I'm going to read this about VPNs real quick, because VPNs, if you get the right ones, you'll be protected. And of course, people are just getting mixed signals on this one. So again, not a scare tactic, but check this out. First, VPNs can be ordered by court to hand over their customers' details. So they could just say, hey, we need all your customers' details, everything. They could say, okay, cool. Here is everybody that's a subscriber to us. They can do that. But it's not that easy, though. It's not as easy as just that. Any good VPN should not have any logs, meaning that even if you were like this, for example, on a site, as soon as they get your IP address, it's going to go nowhere because they don't track anything. You know what I mean? Now, secondly, many VPN providers use a shared IP address. So, for instance, this is what I was explaining Next Level earlier was, if Next Level is doing something like this, like let's just say he's on the site and I'm over here on my VPN, and let's just say I'm trying to remote into, I don't know, the UK or something. I have a computer in the UK and I want to do some work from home. Mm-hmm. And if we're both logged into the same VPN and we choose the same everything and we share an IP address, these are two different users. Mm-hmm. This could potentially have hundreds, and this says if not even thousands of end users using the exact same IP address. So is this a scare tactic? Probably. I would say so. More importantly, I would say when you're doing your research for VPNs, there's a lot of people out there that says, hey, we have a VPN service, use us. Here's a free version of a VPN. And we've actually had a few people saying, you guys are idiots. Free VPN still helps you out. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do everything that you're claiming. If you're using a VPN that's free, they are selling your information some way or another.
Like 3 years ago, I did a video on free VPNs. And what I learned doing that video and making it blew my mind. Because for that video, for my own research, I read their terms and services. So if you are looking into a free VPN, do yourself a favor. You got, a week to burn. Go read those terms and services. Most of us just skip through it and click I agree. Seriously, those are some ones that you need to read.
Mm-hmm. Just read it. It's we're not trying to say, hey, get rid of them and get ours. We're just saying, hey, if you're going to get one that actually protects you, like for real. And you don't have to take our word for it. Like Next Level just said, go read the terms and conditions. So check it out. The ones that we have in the description below are good ones. We have listed a couple. So check it out. And we keep telling you guys, just get protected because you never know the BS that could happen. And I don't know. I would even go as far as saying like, hey, are you the owner of this one? Am I dealing with, if it's like a starter up, I would try to find out some background, read terms and conditions, like all that crap just to see what they are. If it's somebody that you trust and they're just like, hey, we recommend it. Cool. Question. Do you keep any logs? No. Cool. So be safe, be smart, do yourself a favor, read a little bit. I know it sucks. And that's the end of my rant for getting your asses protected with a VPN.
Regardless, everybody should have one. Don't fall for the bait and switch. I mean, I'm not a legal advisor. Consult your local lawyer if you're in any kind of situation.
Yeah.
All right. So I have been super into crypto lately and, mining and all that kind of stuff. I have a little rig that I built. It's nothing too crazy, but I've been trying to get my hands on graphics cards like crazy here. And, you hear me all the time. Like, I need this card. I need this card. And cards are so expensive where I live right now that, they're almost doubled in price in regards to the retail price. Right. And you keep hearing about shortages and all this kind of stuff. I actually have a computer I got to go pick up right after we're done this recording just for the graphics card. Now, this is where I get confused. NVIDIA has announced or leaked their graphics card that they're going to be coming out at the end of this month. And it's going to be the RTX 3080 Ti. Now, if you guys are familiar with the NVIDIA lineup, the king of the 2000 series graphics cards 2 years ago was the 2080 Ti. Right. And the TI is usually their ramped up version of their cards. So originally they launched the 3060, the 3070, the 3080, and the 3090. Right. And then they came out with the 3060 Ti, the 3070 Ti. And now at the end of the month, they're rumored and they're leaked to come out with a 3080 Ti. Now, the part where I get confused is they launched the 3070 Ti, but nobody can find it. Nobody can get their hands on it. They can't even supply the cards that are currently out right now. So what? Magically, they're going to come out with this brand new card and there's going to be stock? Nope. So just because they say they're launching a card, you're not going to be able to get your hands on it. You're not going to be able to.
That's true. And it's funny because I know we've been talking about, like you said, trying to build rigs and trying to build computers and all that stuff. And it's the second they go out, they just disappear. And what's nuts is people are saying like, oh, the pandemic, but it's like it's kind of more than just the pandemic. People like, you're not the only one that's building a rig.
Well, it's not even just the rigs, man. It's the actual silicon. Yeah, I think it's silicon. I said silicone one time and someone said implants and I was like, whoa, that's not what I meant. But there's a shortage, right? So it's not just the rig builders. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's all of you miners. No, it's not about the miners, right? We have to think about, the car manufacturers, right? They also need a lot of this silicon for the chips, right? It's not just the miners. We have new CPUs that are being built, right? Look, Intel and NVIDIA both say, Intel says they're going to start creating graphics cards, and NVIDIA says they're going to start creating CPUs. Both of those require the same materials, right? And then smart cars are being built that requires more chips, right? More people are working from home, which requires better computers, which means that there's more demand. Like, it's not just the miners. Don't hate us because you ain't us. But it's the future, man. Like, I strongly believe everybody should have a small little rig in their house that makes them a little bit of crypto, because I do believe crypto is either the future or takes us to the future. And if you don't have something that makes you a little bit of crypto, then you're left in the last century, man.
Yeah. It's funny because there's a lot of people out there that were like, oh yeah, I remember back in the 90s with the housing market. Oh, you missed that boom. And then they're like, okay, when people talk about the housing market, they understand, yes, buying the houses, flipping them, and everybody was getting like loans like crazy. And then we started talking about the .com, the .com boom, which people literally don't understand what the .com boom is. They think like, oh, it's when the internet was invented. It's like, well, no, and no, it's not when the internet was invented. And actually, Next Level, you gave a really good explanation when you and me were talking about this. So if you want to explain what the .com is, the .com
boom is crazy, because that's when people started to realize the value in a name, in a website name, right? Like, if you go now and you look up websites, you type in a word, say Next Level, whatever, right? You're going to see websites that are valued anywhere from $2 all the way up to $6,000, $10,000, right? And that's what the .com boom was. People understood the value of the demand that some companies would want as their website name, and they went out and they purchased them for dollars or pennies, because nobody was really buying websites named then. And then they turned around and they resold them to companies for millions, right?
Mhm.
Think about it. If you own google.com before Google purchased it, wouldn't they want it? And how much are they willing to spend on it, right? Mark Cuban made a lot of money from this too, I think, right? I think he was one of the first ones that got involved in that. He was also involved in a lot of the Yahoo stuff before Yahoo went, woo.
Yep. Yeah, imagine buying Pepsi.com, Coca-Cola.com, like all these big company names, like they want simplicity.
Yeah.
So, like for example, nowadays, like Rockstar, for example, they're like, hey, we're gonna make a company called Rockstar. Let's buy the Rockstar domain right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's really hard to keep up with what's coming up in the market because a lot of these conversations start like this. They're just they're hidden behind closed doors and saying, hey, let's start up a podcast like beyond the streams. But back then when the .com was about to start, like, hey, the web, like internet is really about to kick off, you know?
And back then there weren't so many domain extensions as there are now. You really just had .com, and you might have had a couple other ones, but it was really just .com. So
Was it
a lot easier. Yeah.
Most of them were .com. I think we might have had some .net and maybe some at .org.
Yeah, but I don't even think at the beginning, not really.
Everything was .com. Yeah.
Everything.
So, yeah, as soon as it kicked off, it's like, dude, really?
So yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, and I could see how a lot of people became rich. So try not to get confused with the whole .com era when the internet was born. That's not what it is.
So to give you guys a little bit more context in regards to what is the 30 Ti and what makes it different from the actual 3080 that you still can't get a hold of. So it talks about the cards. They're reportedly being spotted on shipping pallets and retail boxes. And they will include 12 gigs of DDR6 memory, and which is a 2 gig increase over what's found in the RTX 3080. It's got a wider 384-bit bus, matching the RTX 3090, and increased to the memory bandwidth over the 3080. What this all means in terms of performance isn't exactly clear, but it certainly looks like the RTX 3080 will sit comfortably between the the 3080 Ti will sit comfortably between the 3080 and the 3090. So what I think this means is that if you are a top of the line gamer, you wouldn't need to go to a 3090. The 3080 Ti is going to be great for you. The difference between the 3080 Ti and the 3090 is really just the difference in regards to the VRAM. The speeds of the memory bus is going to be exactly the same as the 3090, but the difference is the 3080 Ti only has 12 gigs of DDR6 memory versus the 24 that the RTX 3090 has. And there's not many things that uses more than the 12 gigs of VRAM. Like if you're doing a lot of, high task gaming, maybe even 8K gaming, there's not many of you guys out there that are even doing 4K yet. So the 3090 is still very overkill and it's still very pricey, right? So I think the 3080 is going to appeal to a lot of people if they can ever get their hands on it.
Yeah. Should be good. Cool. So much stuff to talk about. We are going to be talking about Fortnite now. Epic, freaking epic. Epic is in the news all the freaking time. This is pretty interesting. Epic Games didn't sue Apple to get a big payout, but that's because the lawsuit itself is an investment. It's kind of weird. Normally when you hear about that, it's kind of like, wait, if you're in a lawsuit, usually you're losing money. Unless you win a big settlement thing, then, but an investment, kind of interesting. So they're trying to rewrite Apple's rules, and Epic is spending a fortune. So the reason Epic's Fortnite, I'm sure everybody's heard of the game Fortnite, and if you haven't, just Google Fortnite, Fortnite, one word, got thrown out of the Apple App Store was that Epic rogues updated Fortnite to offer payment merchandise that bypassed Apple's 30% cut of their in-app transactions. And I know we've talked about this before, where the 30% thing, it's physical things that you can touch and people are housing it. This is all digital. They're not housing anything, but they're trying to keep into these old terms and conditions. And it's not just Apple. Google Play Store is doing something similar.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing something similar. So Apple booted Fortnite for violating its rules. And this is the best sentence ever.
I was laughing about it.
Yeah. Epic threw an epic hissy fit. So while Epic Epic has cobbled together an alliance called the Coalition for App Fairness, which is kind of cool, along with Spotify, Match Group, Basecamp, and Tile. There's one more tech behemoth in play. Epic Game Stores runs on Amazon Web Services. So does Fortnite itself. The fight with Apple echoes Epic tactics everywhere. The Epic Game Store is a clear challenge to Valve, which has an iOS-like store called Steam that also takes 30% cut of sales. In a basic act of morale consistency, the Epic Game Store contains an addition to games by other developers, other game stores. So it's like a game store in a store. Something like that. But it also takes only 12% cut of sales. Microsoft just announced it would cut its take on PC games to 12% to match Epic, which used to be 30%. So this is pretty interesting. I know Epic has been in the news now for a while.
Look, I was going to say this is pretty epic because we have to understand. They said that this was an investment, right? Is that what they said?
Mm-hmm.
What they are investing in is a precedence. They are setting the precedence because if they win this, or even if just by doing this, they are marketing the idea and the injustice that these developers face on a day-to-day basis, right? This is going to set a precedence to how we see online payments being handled through these merchants forever. And it needs to change. And they've already got Microsoft to say, okay, which is huge because Microsoft isn't just PC. They're also the Xbox, right? I think this is amazing what they're doing because they're not just fighting for themselves. Now they're fighting for Spotify. They're fighting for Match. They're fighting for the other companies, but they're also fighting for the little developers that can't afford that 30% cut. And what that also means, if they fight for everybody, and that comes down to the 12% like Microsoft is doing, they're fighting for the everyday user, like you and me. Because if they don't have to pay a 30% cut, then maybe the prices of their purchases can go down by 15% or something along those lines, even 10%.
Yeah. So check this out. I was just looking at these numbers. They're saying in 2019, Epic had a revenue of $4.2 billion with earnings of $730 million. We know this because Epic, a private company, sold a stake, and those meddling kids at VentureBeat got a hold of those numbers as a result. Epic's 2020 numbers are forecast at about $5 billion in revenue, with $1 billion in earnings. In the court documents, Epic's total 2020 revenue is projected at a mere $3.85 billion. I like how they put it in a mere like nothing. Like it's just a little bit. In the 2 years Fortnite was available in the App Store, this is crazy. iOS customers alone accounted for $700 million in revenue for Epic, according to the court documents. So Apple's kind of one of those things. Like Apple's losing money, but at the same time, it's like you're not really losing money because you guys didn't do anything besides say, "Hey, you could be in our store."
Look, Apple ain't losing money. Apple's not in the business of losing money. Even if they did this shit for free for Epic, they wouldn't lose money. What was it? The last year or two, they made $1 trillion. So we're talking about billions here, which is a drop in the bucket compared to what their company made in the last 2 years. I'm getting frustrated now because this whole thing is stupid, but it needs to happen.
Yep. And it's crazy because it needs to happen. And like, just think about it. If it was 700 million in revenue at 30%, if it was down, like even if we were to go down, I know they were talking about moving it down to 12%, but the easiest way to do math on this, it's what's half of 700?
Yeah, 350.
350. That's a 15%. So let's just take off 100 million just for shits and giggles. $250 million for doing nothing. Think about that, Apple. Come on. That is stupid.
Look, I don't want to say they did absolutely nothing. I'm sure there's something that they do. Maybe they post a redirected link to download updates. I don't even care, right? Sure. They're on their platform. It's marketing. Maybe they do deserve some kind of cut, right? If they don't want to fight this battle, then just allow them to make purchases through their game that has nothing to do with your platform. Say, okay, fine. This is what you guys want. Then you make purchases through your website or through your game, and you process your own payments that have nothing to do with us. Cool. Because they're going to make money no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Even if it was a redirect, like seriously, how long is it going to take for you to write a code that redirects? And here's the thing, all of Epic's games, like all the apps in the Google Play Store, in the iOS, whatever, they don't have to manage all of that. All they have to say is like, we give you access to post it. And whenever you have an update, you change your version number and that'll notify everybody. I'm pretty sure this falls on Epic to update, to do all their stuff. And Apple don't even do nothing.
Crazy. Speaking about some crazy ass cuts and staying protected, which started with the first topic.
Wrap it up.
Bill Gates and his wife, what's her name? Melinda Gates, have decided to get a divorce. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I know anything about their relationship, but this is a very interesting thing in the news because the Gates have long been some of the richest people in the world. Now, this divorce is said to cost the couple $130 billion, which is going to be divided, making both of them still some of the richest people in the world. It's crazy. I think when Amazon, what's the guy, Bezos, when Bezos went through his divorce, his ex-wife ended up in the top 10 richest people in the world because of the divorce. And we're about to see this happen again. We're looking at probably something neither one of them ever expected to happen. But on top of that, there was never a prenup. So now Bill has hired a whole army of lawyers to protect himself in this situation, and they're fighting over billions.
Well, it's true. When it's like you just said, people get married not thinking of getting divorced. They're thinking like, hey, you're going to be my partner for life, Yeah. So when you have like one of the smartest guys and richest guys out there in the world that gets married, it's kind of scary because prenup shouldn't be in the conversation. I think personally, I don't know how other people feel out there, but my personal opinion is when somebody says I need a prenup before I'm getting married, we need to make sure we have a prenup, that you're already saying, I don't know if this is going to last and I need to protect myself just in case. It's like a plan B. So why get married? If you're going to get married, you need to be all in, both feet in, jumping in the deep end. Just, like if you love this person, you want to get married, there shouldn't be no prenup. There shouldn't be nothing like that. So right now, when you look at it, I don't know what their relationship is and what happened and everything, but
look,
I would assume that they would just split everything 50-50. Regardless if he's the smartest guy and made all the money, you guys are still married. You're a couple. You were together. You put up with every BS every second of the day. So it is what it is.
I agree with you to a certain extent. And the parts where I kind of disagree is not necessarily personal because I'm not a person with a lot of money, right? But Bill Gates made a shit ton of money before he met Melinda, right? And a lot of times there's no room for assumptions when it comes to divorces. People fight over all kinds of stuff, right? So if he made billions before they got married, is she still entitled to the money that he got before they met? And a lot of divorces are fought over things like that, right? Like things like investments in real estate that could have been, the end result of projects and business ventures that happened before they got together. And, when we look at people like athletes, like NBA stars that have a lot of money and then end up getting a girlfriend or a wife or get married, right? I've seen NBA players do videos specifically talking about, I need to do a prenup because there's people that I look after. I have family, I have friends, I take care of my people, my community, and you're just coming into my life now. We're just getting married. This prenup is to protect my responsibilities and the income that I've made prior to us meeting. Now that 100% I understand, right? But whatever you do together, there's things that a husband and a wife, a girlfriend or a boyfriend that do together that allow the other person to go above and beyond, right? Like you could say, I was there to watch the kids while you were able to build a multi-billion-dollar business, and there's value in both. 100%, I agree with that, right? But if there was value before the relationship, that should be protected in regards to a prenup, because as long as everyone understands, as long as we're on the same terms, nothing really changes.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about the situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I still see that as a plan B. That's a plan B. I don't know. If I had a grip ton of money, I probably would be the same way as him, not thinking of a divorce or what if. I'm thinking like, cool, we're getting married. This is it. Like, I don't want to deal with the BS. So it sucks to see somebody get a divorce, even though I don't know who they are, but just the word divorce sucks, just going through that process. So hopefully they could resolve it. I have a feeling it's going to be a 50-50 type of thing where it's just like, hey, we're married for X amount of years.
No,
whatever. I have a feeling it's going to be like a 50-50 thing. He could get all the lawyers in the world that he wants. It's
now, if this ends up being a 50-50 thing, Bill Gates currently is the fourth richest person in the world. And if this is divided 50-50, it drops him out of the top 10. The 10th ranked person has, I think 84. Let me see here. About 85 billion. So probably 11th and 12th spot will be the Gates. It'll drop them to 11th and 12th.
Shared.
It's split 50-50.
I will tell this to Melinda if she's out there listening. Put your half in Dogecoin.
Oh my God.
Put it before Elon Musk goes on live. Imagine if somebody like this is like, you know what? Let me just put 10 billion on Dogecoin. Dude, that thing would jump up so much. I probably would pull out just because the money would be ridiculous. I'd be like, how much?
Just because you said that, this news literally came out yesterday. Literally. Meek Mills, the rapper, says, I guess I might as well, and dropped 50K on Dogecoin.
Yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah, he dropped that.
How much was it worth yesterday?
50.
If you got in early enough, it was worth about 44, 45 cents.
Oh, I have a picture of it. So it says that he bought $50,000 at 54 cents and he got approximately 92,411 Dogecoin. So he bought it at 54 4 cents. And he said, I just grabbed some Doge. I'm tired of missing out.
Come on, Meek Mill. You could afford more than that. You ain't gonna miss another milli or two. Amele.
Dogecoin.
Oh man. All right. So one of the things here that I wanted to bring up too, which is crazy, Tesla's always on the freaking news, man. Proposed Tesla Cybertruck pop-up camper receives 60 million in orders.
A milli.
60 times. And this, I gotta show this thing. If anybody's out there watching this thing, I gotta show this because I don't know if this is real or not.
So if you guys watch one of our previous episodes or listen to it, Rojas's truck unfortunately got hit by a fly and he needs to get a rental. So I was telling him he should get a Tesla, and this is the one he should probably get.
Look at this thing. Dude, if the sun shines on it, it freaking blind everybody around me. What the hell is it? It looks like a little baby house in the back with some solar panels in the back. And it looks like it's coming out of the trunk.
Didn't you say you were renting an RV for your birthday?
Yeah.
See, just get one of these, man.
Dude, look at that thing. That thing, it looks like it's got a sink.
Is that a toilet?
A bathroom? A toilet? This might fold out into a bed. Hey, I might actually look into this. A transparent view. Dude, this is nuts. It's called the Cyberlander. And then when you close it, the whole back end is a solar panel.
Yo, that actually is pretty nice.
Look at this thing. This is a different one, and this has a whole kitchen in it. Dude.
I don't even know how to explain this properly. Like, you guys are just going to have to type in Cybertruck camper and see all the pictures that come up, because this looks pretty cool.
This looks nuts is what it looks like. I don't know what people are thinking. But whatever. You know what? Whatever works, I guess.
It says that it's got a sink, an induction cooktop, a dry flush toilet, a shower, TV, 2 chairs, and a queen-size bed with room underneath for 2 children. What? How do you put 2 kids underneath a queen-size bed?
Maybe it just sits a little higher or something.
Maybe there's like a double underneath the queen. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. That's interesting though.
I don't know, man. What do you think about the Cybertruck? Like, aside from the camper, because I know you're a truck guy. You like trucks.
It doesn't look like a truck to me. It looks like a giant car.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
It looks like a giant car, and it looks like I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, out of all the Teslas, if you had to pick one of them, would this be the one that you picked?
Oh, they gotta be. Hold on. Now I gotta look at all the Teslas. Tesla cars. Do they have I'm sure they got a website. You know what? The model. I don't know, dude. No, you know what? There is a Tesla that I do like. Model S, maybe? Oh, you can do custom orders? No, the Model X? I don't know, dude. They're all kind of ugly. They're all kind of ugly. I ain't gonna lie. They all kind of. Oh, you have to build your own custom? What? I can't pick one? Let's see. Model S. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I
thought they had an SUV.
The Teslas are anymore? They're just not my style. The Teslas are just not. Like, the Model S looks okay.
Right.
The Model 3, the front end looks kind of ugly. I can't see how the Model Y looks like actually now that I look at it in the front. Model X ain't too bad. I don't know, just something about them just doesn't. I don't know. They're ugly cars. They are ugly cars, dude.
I guess
there is a very sporty one that I saw. There is one car that Tesla has that is very, very sporty that I thought was kind of cool looking. But I don't know. I don't think I would even. I don't think I would buy a Tesla. Oh, I just saw a picture of how that truck looks like compared to the next to the sports version of the. Okay, the Roadster. It's the Tesla Roadster. That's the one that I would get. That one's a very, very sporty. Looks like a Corvette kind of. And that truck that sits right next to it looks like a giant car.
That Roadster does look kind of nice.
That Roadster I would do. But I think that's as far as I would go.
I don't know. I still got to get into the whole electric car thing. I am interested. It's so hard to pick because the tech is so new. It's so hard to pick, man.
Well, you don't want it to drive and take you out.
Exactly. I mean, there was that case that we talked about last week or the week before about that accident that was in the news about Tesla, but apparently the black box proved that it wasn't Tesla's fault. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Supposedly.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm curious to see because I do know that there's a bunch of companies that are coming out with electric vehicles now. And there's some really cool ones, right? So we've always thought that Tesla was luxurious. But we have companies like Lucid that has that Arab money that is going to be coming out with luxury electric cars that are going to be starting at like $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 starting. And they go all the way up to like 200, 300,000. And they're aimed at luxury electric vehicles. So those are going to be really cool when they actually hit and we see what they actually look like on the road. So I'm excited to see them because I haven't seen any of their cars on the road yet. There's a couple of videos they dropped on their YouTube channel, but it's going to be interesting to see the competition that starts to come out against Tesla because some of the other car companies have been dealing with recalls with their battery tech catching on fire, all kinds of crazy stuff. So whoever lasts the smoke and comes out the fire, it's going to be cool to see.
Yeah, definitely going to be cool. So we'll see. A lot of stuff coming up. So make sure you guys stay tuned to what's coming because there's so much cool tech stuff coming out. I know we're looking at, I know some of you guys are wondering, when's the new NVIDIA Shield? When's the new 4K Fire Stick? We got to see. Actually, you know what? I actually did a really good video. I'm going to look it up real quick. And I did a video on which Fire Stick is best for you, how to pick the correct Fire TV stick. A lot of people, when they see it, they're just like, oh, here comes a new 4K Fire Stick. I actually did a video that comes out May 20th, how to pick the correct Fire TV streaming device. And I talk about TVs, the size of your TV. Can it do like 4K? I talk about sound bars, like your surround sound stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about the Fire Stick Lite, the 3rd gen, the 4K, and the Fire Cube. I list all 4 of them, and I kind of give it like, hey, if this is your setup, this is the right device. If this is not your setup, then you don't need this device.
Right.
You know, so I kind of, some of it's kind of like, ouch, it kind of like hurts to hear the truth, but check it out. I know we're looking forward for the new 4K Fire Stick 2nd gen. If it's going to be coming out, Fire Cube would be good. We doubt it's going to be coming because of the new Fire Sticks in the 3rd gen, but we'll see. The new remote looks pretty dope though.
I'm just gonna share this. This is an article that came out, I think, yesterday on AFTV News that says the 4K Fire Stick with a new remote makes a surprise appearance. So apparently on the US Amazon website, you can get the 4K Fire Stick with the new remote. So who knows if that's going to be the new release for this year. It could just be a new remote, the same remote that came out in the 3rd gen. Who knows?
I don't know. The Fire TV Stick Lite is on sale right now.
So is the 4K.
Oh, Fire TV Cube. That's on sale.
They're having a couple sales, right? So who knows? I think that maybe they're just trying to advertise the new remote.
I wouldn't be surprised. Fire TV Stick is on sale for $37.99, but I don't see that new remote. 4K Fire Stick. I just did a search for it. It might be coming out soon. And you know what's funny? It's funny that you said that because I was actually thinking that the 4K Fire Stick, if they come out with a new one, it's going to be with that new remote included, which makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that Fire Stick Lite, they're kind of leaving that like on the dust, you know? They should almost say, hey, remember the Fire Stick 3rd gen or the 4K Fire Stick remote? We're going to actually put that on the 4K or on the Fire Stick Lite, which will be nice because now it gives you the volume buttons back, you know?
I wish they would drop the freaking price for the remotes because it's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Just
They're
the
nice
remote
remotes. Just drop it like $10, $15. I know that sounds like a big drop, but they're expensive as heck. Hell-ish.
Ish.
Oh no, it's frustrating because you know how many people come to me because I know a lot of people that own dogs and stuff, and they're like, my dog ate my remote. Do you sell remotes? And I'm like, got to go to Amazon, but honestly, just wait for a sale and buy a whole new device. Like I tell people, buy a whole new device instead of buying a remote. It's ridiculous.
Yep, no, for sure. I'm right now. I'm just posting a Fire Cube sale. And that Fire Cube don't have the new remote either.
Not yet. It probably will by Prime Day.
Probably. I hope they do. So I hope you guys have appreciated this episode. Anything you want to say before we skedaddle out of here?
Yep. Appreciate all the comments. There's some good stuff in here. So I hope that you guys drop your comments, your feelings, your thoughts in the comment section down below. And let us know what you guys think of the Beyond the Streams podcast when you leave those reviews on whatever podcast you're listening to us on. If it's Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Apple, or Google, wherever you listen to us on. We're on all the platforms. Just a reminder to everybody that we do live streams on the Beyond the Streams YouTube channel every Thursday, and the replays come out on the audio side every Monday. So just continue to share the links and drop us the feedback and the reviews so that other people can find the content that you guys are enjoying. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And yeah, with all that being said, make sure you guys stay tuned to the next episode because you don't know if this conversation is going to go beyond the streams to the moon. Peace out, everybody. Take care.